Hello, good evening, and welcome to this stream. I've been queuing for Marcel's stream forever. Well, then you don't have very much patience, my friend, as the intro song lasts less than 4 minutes. But the queue is over. The wait is over. The stream has begun. Although, admittedly, the guests only kind of have a patience of 50 seconds. After 50 seconds, their happiness goes down when they're waiting in a queue, which is not very long. Anyway, how are y'all doing on this Sunday evening? Ready for the week? Ready to charge the week full of vigor? Well, some of you still have a weekend day left. Mainly the ones in America. Except if there's a Q-Line TV. Yeah. But other than that, you know, it will go down. Q-Line TV to prevent that. I'm glad the weekend is over. That can also be a thing. Do you work in the weekends, or was it just a shitty weekend for once? Which happens. I hope your week at least is better. Alright. Today, we're going to do a custom scenario by R. Adrian, who's made quite a few. We've played scenarios by him before. One was Lazy Lake a few months ago. And it all was pretty good. And now it's one called Upside Down. I think somewhere down here. God, I have a lot of these. Why is this one... It has colored text here. Huh. Anyway. There we go. Upside Downs. All the way down there. 30 months. Thank you, Magic Geeks. That's a long time. It's 2.5 years. Considering I always work weekends, I'm going to enjoy a few days off now. Yeah, of course, not everyone works in the week. I mean, I've worked this weekend. Because I didn't really work the days before. So, yeah, you know, I also work weekends. I've done really not anything other than work today. Anyway, Upside Downs. The goal is to get 1,500 guests in 3 years. A children's park located in the scenic Upside Downs has inexplicably decided to put themselves on the map by building the coaster with the most inversions in the world. For a children's park. Right. Can you balance the park, keeping both thrill seekers and wimpier guests happy? It's not even talking about children anymore. It's like, alright, we're not a children's park, screw it. We're just going for people who like a thrill and weaklings. Well, I think I can do that anyway. We charge for the rides, apparently. Is the ride price manager on? Yes, okay, let's disable it. I'm just gonna... You know, I'm gonna quickly restart so that the ride price manager didn't screw with it. I wanna do it without. There we go. Much better. Alright. This is our little park. The entrance is over there. Oh, we have 2 of them. And a giraffe statue. Ooh, using one of the base blocks as a base for the statue. I mean, it's in the name. It's clever. I'm not sure I've seen that before. So, yeah, that's clever. Nicely done. Yeah, it. That's probably not how you pronounce that. Greetings from the Navajo Nation. Greetings back. That's in Arizona, right? Okay, yes, there is a railway around this park. It's got 2 stations on opposite sides of the park. And the park is kind of adorned by some patches of trees. And then we have a cute little spiral slide here with some stalls and a flower bed or two. And some absolutely useless lamps. Really, they don't do anything. But they do look pretty. So, not entirely useless. Oh, I like this. I like all the 3x3s around a flower bed. You live in Hosdo Hahudzo. Hosdo Hahudzo. Interesting. A place I can't pronounce. I speak English, but I don't speak Navajo. We have a Ferris wheel here. We have a merry-go-round called Carousel. Very creatively named. Oh, no flower bed here. You know what, I can change that. Hang on, then this was not. And there we go. Now we got a flower bed there. Oh yeah, let's see if the correct viewer rewards are on. I want them all on for this stream. Ah, pick a coaster type to build. Wasn't on. Name a ride of your choice. What do you want to name? Was Drown a Guest on? Yes, it is. Another statue on base blocks. I like the station as well. The little platform. It's very creatively done. These scenarios from Adrian are all created in vanilla RST2, so that they work pretty much anywhere. Name the merry-go-round Carousel. At first I was like, is that some kind of language that I don't speak? But then I was like, I see a familiar name in there. So, Carrie, you have a thing named after you. It goes round and round and round. Okay, we don't have a guest 69 anymore, Major Geeks. Unfortunately. Alright. We do have 169. I can drown 169 for you. That's the one I'm playing now too, by the way. Ah. Yeah, he just posted on Reddit and Discord. These are very new. 169 is fine, of course. You just want to see the haha funny sex number. And death. Hey Duvel, welcome. And Max, welcome as well. Did you just drown a child? Yeah? That's my favorite pastime. That's what I do every Sunday morning before breakfast and after dinner. Oh, thank you for the 35 months, Kangi. A long time. We're nearing 3 years. Right. It's time to look at the big coaster in the middle of the park. Hangman. Ooh, 9.99 nausea. 15 inversions. 57 kilometers maximum speed, which is not very fast. I think I remember Adrian asking me a question about this, like, what's the max possible or something? Maybe that was someone else and this is unrelated, that's possible, but I think I vaguely remember that. Because I remember him saying like he did it with the compact invert or something. So, who knows? Anyway, it's got under 10 intensity and under 10 nausea. But it's still got those 15 inversions. Are you from the Netherlands? Yes, I am. Let's charge more for this. Drown every guest with 69 during the stream. Maybe not, that's gonna be quite many. Marcel Vos headcanon. After waking up, he just boots up the game each morning, drowns a bunch of random guests before starting the normal day. Unfortunately not. Yeah, that that goal is not right. I don't even remember how we did that. Now I'll put the goal in the title. I didn't actually know the goal before the stream started. Let's see. Goal. 1,500 guests in 3 years. Much better. Much more accurate. Now, we don't need to go for an intense ride, because we already got one. Ooh, we also actually have a swan boat, of course, and a crooked cottage. Oh, they're all, I don't like them all being white. I like them like one being a different color. So, boat 4 will be purple. Not black like in Katie's Dreamland. Purple. Do we have the cash machine available? No, we don't. Okay, first thing on the list. Well, actually not the first, but 1 month and 4 days in thing on the list. Increase funding. Should have been the first. But alas. How rich are guests that come in? 50. Well, if that's the high end, we're in trouble. This one got 60, 70, 70, 70, 60, 60. Come on, is it 80 or 40? 60, 80. There we go. So, 50 to 80, that's not bad. That's actually quite good. Okay, we don't have many rides available. I need to go for thrill rides and roller coasters. Water rides? Oh, I only have boat. Let's go water rides as well. Okay, so let's start with the junior coaster. There's nothing more fitting for a children's park than a junior coaster, right? So, now I'm not a big fan of spines, so we're not going to bank the turns. Spines can screw off. How fast do we go here? Nah. I want to go faster. The Netherlands translates to Keabel Hayos Siangli, meaning land lowered beneath Europe. That's complicated. Alright. Now this should be a lot more fun. There we go, 65. That's the speed I like. Ooh, that was a lag spike. Navajo names for countries are fascinating. If that's the Netherlands, then yeah. If the others are anything like it. Alright. And that is a very junior ride. I'm attempting here to get the lateral G's between 2.8 and 3.1 to get the first penalty, but not the second. And I think this speed should just about do that. Only 1,500 people. That's hella endangered. How do you zoom in extra? Set your drawing rendering... Yeah. Set your rendering engine, drawing engine to open goal. Open GL. Alright, thank you for the 2 months. Slingshot Footy. Recently found you on your channel on YouTube. Thanks for all the content. Well, not super recently, because you subscribed for the first time a month ago at least. Or it was a random gifted sub, that's also possible. But yeah, glad to have you here anyway. Okay, I have a little chain lift here, but that's not possible, so let's remove that. Open goal. I couldn't send a message the first sub. Oh. Or I missed it, I don't know. But whatever. Do you regret eating not enough veggies when you were little? If anything, I regret eating not enough veggies more recently. When I was little, it was never a problem. I mean, I wasn't always the biggest fan of them, but I ate them. But now that I live on my own, I have more trouble creating balanced meals. Not necessarily because it's like a difficult thing. Like, it's not complicated. I can cook just fine. I'm not an expert at it in any way, but you know, yeah, loads of simple meals. But it's the whole actually doing it thing that's more difficult, you know? What you have for dinner today? I had one of those frozen meals that you eat in a pan. You warm that up and you cook it for a little bit, or cook it. Fry it? No, it's not really frying. What's the correct English for that? I would say bakken in Dutch. You know, like you would bake potatoes. But if I say I baked it for a while, that doesn't seem right. Frying it. I mean, frying, yeah, frying, I think of deep frying, which also, but yeah, but, you know, you fry, what do you do with you fry hamburgers? That sounds weird to me, but, yeah, I mean, I think that's right. But for some reason, it sounds weird to me. I should not forget the exit path. Grill. Yeah. You know, it's the thing, right? There are lots of different words for heating something up, preparing food in a pan in Dutch, and lots of different words for doing that in English, and they all have slightly different meanings. But sometimes when we do make the distinction in Dutch, English doesn't make the distinction, but sometimes two English words that mean different things in English, we use one word for in Dutch. So keeping track of all those little words, especially when I don't talk about them very often in English, it's kind of hard. Because in Roller Coaster Tycoon, I know all my terminology and stuff, I know very well. But I don't watch cooking content on YouTube. I don't, you know, talk, you know, whenever I talk about cooking, it's usually in Dutch. So, yeah, there are those little things. Generally, kind of food, I don't talk about very much in English. So there's a lot of terms that I don't know that well. Okay, we got 3.04 lateral Gs, and that's exactly what I wanted. That's what I tried, between 2.8 and 3.1, so we got 7.33 intensity. On the children's ride. Ooh, thank you for the 29 months, Azuma Dial. It's not 35, but it'll have to do, eh? Are you Canadian, eh? Well, thank you very much. Spine Snapper. Think you'll ever get rid of your Dutch accent? Well, I used, you know, let's say 5 years ago. I was like, yeah, I kind of want to get rid of that. I wasn't going to put that much effort into it. I never did. And I was kind of, yeah, I would like to get rid of it if I could. Nowadays, I don't anymore. It's become part of my brand. And as long as the accent isn't so bad that I'm hard to understand, which it isn't, there's no issue with it. And it's, yeah, it's just part of the brand. It's recognizable. I have another food question that I thought about earlier yesterday. And it's related to what we talked about, I think like 2 streams ago. Hang on. So you have cookies, right? That's just cookies. And in Dutch we could call that een koekje. It's usually like a heart, and you can kind of break it in two and stuff, and it's very delicious, absolutely. You of course have cake, which is this stuff, and in English sometimes also this stuff, birthday cakes. Then you have pie, which is this stuff. But what exactly is the English word for this? Or this? Or this? Because we call it, when it's, you know, it's kind of a softer thing. And we call it koek. Like a koekje, the diminutive, is something more like this. Or, you know, like this, like a chocolate chip cookie. But when it's softer, usually bigger, we call it koek. And there's a clear distinction. So apparently, a hard cookie and a soft cookie, they're both cookie. Calling this a cookie feels so weird to me, because I have learned to call this a cookie, but, or this, and in Dutch we have a different word for it, so calling it still a cookie is weird to me. But yeah, if there isn't a word for it, it makes sense that I didn't know, because there isn't. Pastry is the umbrella term, yeah, but no one's calling out that, you know. I think very few people actually call that a pastry. Because yeah, as you say, it's way too generic. Okay, we unlocked the mini-sus! Woo! And the Enterprise. Let's build a mini-sus. But in the case of roze koeken are clearly cake, if you've ever had them. Yeah, they're more cake-like than cookie-like, I'd say. But no one in Dutch is ever gonna call them cake, because they're called koek. So I think it's very interesting. Think about those little differences between how languages do things, and it can make it difficult to learn a new language. Oh, we don't have the cash. There are, of course, loads more of those little things that, you know, English is different than Dutch. English, for example, doesn't have a distinction between formal and informal you. It used to have with die, thou, die, whatever. But in Dutch, if I just talk to a friend or my mom or something, it's just je, which is informal you. But if it's to, you know, let's say a 50-year-old that I don't know, it's usually u. Although a lot of people don't really like being called u because it makes them feel old, because usually it's used for older people. Skibidi Toilet Park. Oh god. Do we have Gen Alpha in here? Marcel, if you don't pay your loan ASAP, I will make a scenario with an 800% loan interest. Okay. Go ahead. I don't think you can actually do that. Okay, you can't. But still much higher than I expected. You can go to 255%. Which is ridiculous. Let's see, it was at 10. Hey Slime, what's up? What type of cookie is better? Hard, soft? Both. Give me all the coo. Usually I'd say hard. I like hard things. Okay, you know what? Let's go in the ground. I wonder how many quotes there are of me just making innuendos. It's not like they're very special. Alright. That's why I stopped quoting them for the most part. Yeah, because it's all the same. Is there a way to see all the quotes? Probably. I can probably get that somewhere. I'll log into Nightbot or something. Okay, did I design this well? That's always the question with the mini-says. Hello Hoover, welcome. I gifted a friend of mine RST1 Plus 2. Nice. Hope they enjoy it. Okay, looks like I did this well. I was not scared about the intensity. I have to do something really terrible to make this thing too intense. But it was more so about whether it would make it. Because that can be an issue at times with this ride. As we all know. And if you didn't, then you do now. Yeah, stats are decent. 5.1, 6.3, 4.7. This park is terribly wheelchair unfriendly, by the way. There's not a single ramp anywhere. Lots of stairs. Like, this is the extent where you can go with a wheelchair. There's nothing for you to go to. So, yeah, have fun. Unless you like really intense rides and want to go down the stairs with your wheelchair. Technically, you can go downstairs quite quickly in a wheelchair. Well, I think in a wheelchair might be difficult if you're not strapped in. So I'm not sure I agree with you. I'm noticing how you're making mini sissies every stream right now. Are you mayhaps beginning to grow somewhat fond of me? Bloody hell. Are you talking... That's a little bit ooh-woo like. Anyway, you know, I've never hated... The mini sis has never been my least favorite ride. I consider it the worst coaster in the game, but not the worst coaster from an enjoyment perspective. That is probably the spiral coaster. I don't like it. In terms of pure enjoyment, the mini-sis is not the best, but it's not bad either. You know, the thing about the mini-sis is that it's kind of fun to build because it's a coaster, and, you know, I like building tracked rides. But it also looks small. It doesn't look massive. I don't feel the need to make it massive. Remember last stream when I was doing a Crazy Castle, I was gonna build a twister coaster and I immediately made it like 60 meters tall and stuff. And I ended up scrapping it because it was way too tall. But I automatically made it way too tall. That was just the thing I automatically do when I build a twister coaster, because that's the thing the twister coaster does. I don't feel that when I build a mini-sis. I quite like building a mini-sis. Not, like I said, not more than some other coasters, definitely not, but mini-sis pink. Well, it's already quite close. Oh, this looks good though. Drown guest 420. Of course. Hilltop steamer was great. Next I'll give you a Cleveland steamer. But first you'll die. Have you played either of my scenarios yet? I don't know. Probably not. I didn't know you made scenarios, if I'm honest. Drink some water for 420 mini sissy points. Very nice. Lawsuit Grove. I played Lawsuit Grove, I think. The name rings a bell. I think I failed it. Because I didn't really, honestly, do much. Let's see. Save. See if I have a save file for Lawsuit Grove. I do not. Do I have a scenario with something called Lawsuit in it? Not here. I do remember it though. And I never delete save files. I have all my save files. Since 2016 still. Oh, Lazy Grove. Not Lawsuit Grove, Lazy Grove. Lazy Grove. There we go. Yeah, I remember this. Well, I say I filled it. It's not really failure. I just never completed it. Getting 1,000 guests now. Like, I'm not in financial ruins. I can borrow more money. I cannot advertise. When was this? This might have been... I remember playing this scenario and be like, oh, I did something wrong, I can't beat it anymore. This was from before 2019, because it's 27th of February 2019. A lot of my save files have this date, because that's when I transferred them from my laptop to my computer. And unfortunately, they lost all their original dates. Although when I transferred them from my computer to my new computer half a year ago, I managed to keep the dates. Luckily. There was a whole other park here originally, though. Let's have a little look. Lazy Grove. It's called Lawsuit Grove. Ah! Dangerous Rides, I think. Well, a terrible park anyway. On purpose, of course. My rides look fine, actually. There's nothing wrong with this ride. I mean, the lack of a queue line is a bit disconcerting, but... I can headbang to this. Yeah, it's a terrible park, and I think I just removed it entirely. In my save file. The Transcontinental Railroad one. Yeah, I don't remember that one. Alright, this is where we were. The original trains for the minibuses were best, those with the 3-seaters. Yeah, those the RCT1 trains. Though they were cars with 1 seat, which you could make the trains 3 cars long. And they looked a bit better, because these cars are horrendously ugly. But also they were a bit heavier. Which is nice, because of course the minibuses is sort of defined by having the lightest cars in the game. At least of any roller coaster. And maybe in the entire game. I mean, maybe like one of the car rides would be lighter, but... I mean, the mini golf technically is only the guest, so I imagine the car that they're in, like, logically wise in the game, has no weight. But they don't really go at us, like they don't really accelerate or something. Ooh, we get a water ride. Nice. Could you ever have more than one person in a car train on the minibuses? Yes. These. 2 people per train. Cart. Vehicle? Whatever you want to call it. But there's 2 guests in them. Alright. We already have actually most of these. These 4 we have. So let's build a car ride. Let's kind of keep it next to the railway. Ooh, that's nice, isn't it? You don't have diagonals, but with the turns you can kind of approximate them anyway. Yes, the ghost test feature. So incredibly important on a car ride. Can't do without. Hey Marcel, I've recently discovered your videos and they have got me hardcore back into RTC. I too love Roller Toaster Tycoon. Very happy to catch your stream. Welcome. Draconica Nova. Good to have you here. What are your thoughts on fixing pre-builds that unintentionally fail stat requirements? Keep them untouched. Especially the Rollercoaster Tycoon ones that we import. Don't mess with them. There are not many of those anyway. And the Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 things, the set requirements, are a bit different in the first game. So I know of one that has normal stats in RST1, but then gets excessive lateral Gs. I believe it's... one of these. I think maybe Line of the Phoenix. I think it's Regurgitator, actually. Yeah, see this? Max lateral G is 2.88, which is normal in the original. Actually, this has RST2 scenery, so this is from RST2. Anyway. I'm not sure. I need to build this to see what exactly happens, because... Whatever. I can't be arsed to figure that out now. Did I ever tell you guys about that time I overslept ridiculously for waking up for school, yet still made it on time? I mean, it doesn't sound very exciting when I preface it like that. But the story is a bit more interesting. Because I lived about an hour away from school by bike. And we biked to school every morning at 16 kilometers. And... oh god, that train is so high. Can I not go over that train? God damn it. I need to go over it earlier then. And usually school would start at 8:15, so we would leave home at about 7:05. At 5 minutes past 7, a good friend of mine would ring the doorbell, and then I would come out and we would cycle to school together. And along the way, you know, meet many more people. And usually, my mom woke us up. I think I was like at 14, 15 there. But she still woke us up because she just had to get out early anyway. I'm not sure if I set my own alarm at that time. But anyway, at one point, my mom participated in something called the Wampex. And that's kind of a trek through forests and marshes, swamps, and you have to do all kind of exercises halfway through. You know, climbing over nets and whatnot. It's just kind of an obstacle course, but then not just a course, it also involves a lot of walking. And it was organized through her work, and she did that every year or so. And it was always in the middle of the night. So, probably like a, I don't know, 15-kilometer hike with a lot of obstacles in between and stuff. And that was that night. So, obviously, she didn't get out very early. Not at all. Sounds intense. Yeah. A lot of fun. She got home probably at like 6 AM. And I knew of that, of course, but I didn't set my alarm. Or at least not properly. I meant to, of course, because I knew of that, but for some reason I overslept. So at 7:05, my friend rings our doorbell. I don't hear it, I sleep. My mom does wake up. So at some point she's like very sleepy. She comes into my room and it's like... She opens my trap door. Yeah, I had a trap door to my room. And she wakes me up. And she immediately goes back to bed and it'll be like, you know, go, you know, I've been waking up and I can take care of myself. And I just told my friend to just go and I'll take the bus instead because I'll never be on time if I cycle. So I have about 20 minutes before I need to leave to catch the bus. But at some point, while I'm, you know, relatively... You know, at a relatively leisurely pace eating my breakfast, I'm like, no. I will cycle. I will catch them. So with 50 minutes to go before lessons started, I stepped on my bike and I cycled very fast, faster than I'd ever done at the start. And in fact... if we go to maps. So, this is where I lived. A village called Ruinen. This house, number 96. Haven't lived there for 10 years? Or longer. And then we cycled along the Meppelerweg, Oosteinde, through the village Oosteinde, through the village Ruinerwold, and then to Meppel. And I went to school right there. And in Ruinerwold, there is... Is it still there? Yeah. There's this clock here that alternates between temperature, so 21 degrees, and the time. And there was always... We would always kind of see how early we were, how quick we were, by seeing what time it was when we passed this clock. The earliest I remember being was 21 past 7, which meant that for the remaining 6 or so kilometers, we had 50 minutes left, which is way too early. That was back in the first year when we were afraid of being late. The latest I ever remember being here was this time when I left my home at about 25 past 7. So I left my home after I've been at this spot before, 9 kilometers away. And I was here at 51. So I only had 24 minutes before lesson started. And then I caught up to the entire group somewhere around here. Because there was a group of like 50, 60, 70 people, all from Ruinen, Ruinerwold, cycling to Meppel to school. I caught up to the back of the group here, and one of the guys I knew was cycling there as well. And he was very surprised to see me, because my friend had told it, you know, people that I wasn't going to be cycling. And then we always take this cycling path under the road. And then I slowly started like catching up with the entire group, like passing everyone. And then you go this way, and then this way. And then somewhere here, I caught up to the front of the group, where my friend was. And it was very funny to see his reaction as well, because he'd never expected me there. And I think I did it in probably like 40 minutes. Not the fastest I've ever gone, but definitely the fastest I've ever gone on the way to school. We've been faster, with a strong wind in the back, on the way back home. But this was the fastest ever to school. Sounds a bit lame. If you be like, oh yeah, I overslept so I cycled quick. But for us the story is kind of a bit legendary. Because if we're together, like that friend was here last week, if we're together then, we'll often reference it or something, that time I did that. So for me it's a good story and I wanted to tell you. It does sound lame, not legendary at all. I appreciate your honesty. Do you know if there's a mechanic to how guests use bins? Well, a video on that is going to drop tomorrow. That's the video I've been working on. Well, not just bins, everything you can put on path. But it's basically, when they have an empty container in their inventory and they walk past the bin, they'll throw it away. Unless the bin is full. It's that simple. The 15-minute one. 16 and a half. I don't remember saying the time of the video, did I? Maybe I said last stream. It's gotten a little bit longer. Because I got some things wrong and had to redo them. Yeah, I've had a little bit of trouble working, editing the last week. Some motivational problems. And the edit is quite annoying on this one, if I'm honest. It's not that much of a fun edit to do. Because a lot of scenes are annoying to make, annoying to build, annoying to, you know, if you faff around with the stats of the guests, you know, to make sure they sit down for long or sit down for short, you know, when talking about how benches work and that kind of stuff. But it's nearly finished now and it should go live tomorrow. They throw away one random thing if their inventory is filled. Well, only they throw away everything that's litter when they pass a litter bin. But don't, you know, they don't throw away a balloon or something, because that's not litter. You wrote it about it in Discord. Oh, did I? I don't remember that. Hang on, we have an extra tile here. Oh, that's why it looked weird. That makes more sense. Did you ever work out your average speed during that bike ride? Well, I had 50 minutes, but to get from home to school. But I did it quite a bit quicker. Let's say it's 40 minutes. 16 kilometers, so it would be an average of 24 kilometers an hour. Which is not that fast. Although I was a bit younger, of course. I was like 14, 15 or so. And you can't go 24 everywhere. I think the fastest we've ever gone, well, I say my friend, because I wasn't there. I took the bus that day for... Oh yeah. I remember, there was one day when there was a ridiculous headwind. Like, there was storm. Everyone took the bus. Including me. Except that very same friend. He didn't take the bus. The mad lad cycled to school in a very, very strong headwind. And he barely made it on time. That of course also meant he got to cycle back with the same very strong backwind, tailwind. And he did it in less than half an hour. 16 kilometers. Which is quite fast. You know, on a normal bike. Being a teen. Oh, we're making quite decent money. By the way, the longest we've ever taken to traverse home is about 2 hours for the 16 kilometers. And that was because it was so incredibly cold. It was so cold that we regularly had to stop and warm ourselves up. Sounds weird, because surely cycling makes you warm. Well, sort of, but at the same time, when cycling, you have to keep your hands on the steering wheel, or at least one of them. But they got cold, even with hand shoes on, gloves. So we had to kind of stop and warm our hands up by putting them under our pits and stuff. Which is a little bit gross, but it warmed them up. Also, what's up Bezita Zita? And Connell the Viking. Marcel secretly German confirmed. Yeah, it's not like the Dutch word is exactly the same, handschoen. It's not like German and Dutch both have the same word, handschuhe and handschoen. So, you know, let's say it's around freezing temperature. Then I would say, keep cycling, you're getting warm. But it was, I think, about -12 when we cycled back home with a strong wind. Which meant that we didn't get warm when cycling. So sometimes we just had to stop and warm ourselves up. It was too cold to just get warm by doing a bit of exercise. That day. Must have been 2012. Because that was the cold winter here. Okay, how much staff do we have? We have a few handymen. I hired some of those. Use some more of these fellas. Ah, we don't need security guards. They're overrated. I like entertainers though. One rainy day, my mom came to school with an umbrella. That's my favorite school days memory. Oh, nice. Fire all the staff. Alright. I just noticed I missed a geography question 24 minutes ago. Let's see if I can find it. If I scroll up in the chat. Well, the park rating might be going to shit. But we'll see. Let's see, it was a little bit after to drink some water. Yeah, there it is. Well, you never asked anything. So, Seacock de Solly, you still have a question. Anything. I just like talking about geography, really. Drown a guest with an umbrella. It's no longer raining, so I don't know, but hang on, they're just buying umbrellas. So did I see you put one away? I think that was probably a map, but you have an umbrella anyway. Bye-bye. Good night. Hey, Pissgrade, welcome. I remember when I was in group 8 of primary school. So that's 11 to 12 years old usually. Sometimes 13. Or 10 in my case. I started it when I was 10. We had one particularly bad storm. And I remember when school was out, just running home as fast as I could. Along with a friend who was staying at my place at least for the afternoon. And it was ridiculous. It was thunder, it was lightning, it was wind, it was rain. And I could afford to run home because it was very, very close to home. I'll Because, I'll show you. This is where I lived, number 96. And this is the school. Yeah, it's not very far. Like, from here you can both see our house. And, well, that's the gym. But next to it is the school. I think there's probably one place you can see both. Let's see. You can't see our house from here. It's somewhere... Yeah, it's that one. That little green thing. There it is. And the school. From one place. Did you ever get the badge? What badge? Oh, did you? Oh. I mean, sort of. I placed second there once in a badminton competition. I didn't win. I won plenty of others. But I never won in my hometown. I did get the Zuidwolde badge. So definitely more. I think I won Hogeveen once. I could walk to my shelf right now where they're on, but the cable of my headset isn't long enough. I got the jug. Are you proud of me? I'm incredibly proud of you, Kengi. I still do have all the medals and trophies I won with playing badminton as a kid. You know, just local little tournaments. Except for one. There's one that I threw away very quickly. Because I hated it. You know what it was? Can you guess what it was? It wasn't the medal specifically I hated. Just the fact that I got it. Yes, a participation medal. I placed last. Easily. I played awful. I had problems with my racket. And I played terribly. Everything was just awful. But everyone got a participation medal. That's the only tournament I can ever remember getting a participation medal. And I was immediately... I'm never coming back here. Because at the start of the year... you would always... At the start of the season, you know, around September or so... You would always get a list. Or probably around 15 tournaments... 15 competitions that you could choose to participate in. And I would usually do like 6 or 7 in the year. And, you know, they were always in different villages. And, you know, one was always singles, one was always double with the same partner every time. But most of them were doubles with a different partner every time. But this time, and I don't know which city or town it was, but I was immediately, well, there are plenty of others and I'm never going back here. What's with the lag? What lag? I don't see lag. Participation medal is such an in-your-face, you sucked thing. I mean, it depends a little, right? Because in my situation, absolutely. But if you run a marathon or a half marathon or something like that, then getting a participation medal saying you completed it. Yeah, but then the goal is just completing it. The goal isn't necessarily winning. I mean, unless you're one of the, you know, actual competitive people. So that, you know, it does depend a bit on the kind of thing. But in my case, it was an absolute slap in my face. Also, I'd already won some trophies. I literally placed second. And I'm still salty about that. But I'm literally placed second in my first ever tournament I attended. It was 2006, I think. So I would have been 9. It was in Staphorst. Which can be kind of funny for you Dutch folks. And I placed second, and I'm salty about that. I should have had a chance to win. Speed scatting, Kangi. Is that like doing like the Scooby-Dooby-Dooby-Doob, but even faster? The jazz thing. Anyway, that very first tournament, I think I should have not necessarily won, I should have had a chance to win. You know why? I won every single match I played there. I had like 6 or 7 matches throughout the morning. I won all of them. Yet, I didn't get first place. Because another guy in my pool, in my group, also won all of them. And we never played each other. We didn't have a chance to see which one is the better between us two. I assume he got the first place because he got a larger point differential. He got, if you subtract all the points you got against from the points you got, he probably got more points from the, but I'm still salty that we never got to play each other and that I didn't get a chance to beat him. Because I absolutely think I should have. Not that I think I would have won necessarily. There's a good chance he would have won. Like, I'm not saying I should have been first. But I'm saying I should have had a chance to be first. Marcel's longest coaster record was broken. Huh? Not that I know. If you know more than I do, enlighten me. Staff. Alright, that might be a good idea. Oh yeah, I mean, I've broken it myself a few times. We're up to about, what was it, like 3 trillion years or something. Marcel still has the longest. You know it. I have the longest. Fine was saying speedrun should send you medals. I mean, you could make up just, you know, create your own category and then suddenly get medals, which is a bit lame. Do you bother with setting a patrol area for the staff, or do you just hire a bunch? Usually I just hire a bunch, but if there's like one particularly bad area for vomit, I'll just put, you know, a little patrol area for one handyman there. Isn't it theoretically possible to build longer? Not that I know of. Like, yeah, maybe tiny optimizations. Like, I don't know, making the default coaster like a tile longer so that it's technically longer, but only by like 0.01%. But I don't know of any way to properly make it longer within the vanilla limits. Did you know I once won a golden medal in speed skating? Well, ice skating really, not really speed skating. In ice skating. Without using any ice skates. And unfortunately I don't have that medal anymore. So just skating. No, not even. No, more like just ice. Because there was ice, but there were no skates. Now it was, I think it was like 2002 or 2003, and it had frozen a lot, and there was a lot of ice everywhere. Ice, not ice, not E-Y-E-S. I was like 5 or 6 years old, and our school decided to have some kind of ice games. So a lot of little games on the ice, and some people had skates, but I didn't, so I was just on shoes. And I don't even remember what all the games were, but apparently I won, and I got a gold medal for that. And it's a shame I don't have the medal anymore. Maybe it is still somewhere, but I think it's been lost. Which is unfortunate, but it's just a tiny little medal. I've done much more important work in ice skating nowadays. Actual important work which I have a lot more fun with. Drink some water. Good idea. According to Slime, you have the longest nose. Okay. Drink some molten ice. Yeah, that's technically what water is. Ice is water. And water is ice. No, I don't think that's... Is that true? I think ice is just frozen water. But I think... Because water is your water in whatever state it's in. But does that go the other way around? It's like... It's like an apple is a fruit, but a fruit doesn't have to be an apple. So, ice is water, but water doesn't have to be ice, or something like that. This is getting complicated. Did you know Koreans use slightly bent skate blades? Did you know everyone does that? With short track skating, they are more bent than long track skating. But also in long track skating, the skates are bent into the curve a little bit. And they're also they're bent in two ways actually. They're also very slightly bent. Like the tips are very high, a tiny bit higher than the middle of the skate. So it's both bent like that, and bent into the curve. But very, very, very slightly. But it does help skaters, you know, take the curves a lot better. Which is especially useful if you're going at 60 kilometers an hour. Like the good sprinters do. Drown a guest that has ice cream. I believe we do have an ice cream stall in this park, so I can probably fulfill your request. Let's see. Do we have an ice cream stall? Well, we do have it at least available. We do. Fruity Ices stall. Right down there. Well, no one right now is buying it because it's raining. Let's see. Does someone say, I've already got an ice cream? Oh, Enterprise is too expensive. Hang on, I saw that. I saw it. I saw it. But it's only this. I might not be thinking it anymore. Hang on, let's wait a little bit. And then let's, in the meantime, lower the price of the Enterprise. Okay, you, Mr. Orange, have ice cream and thus are going to be die. Bye bye. Good night. Okay, it's May year 2, so we're nearing halfway point. And we are nearly 2/3 in with the guests. Not bad, not bad. Could the speed skate champions of Winter Olympics 84 and 88 win nowadays from the champions today or not? No. For several reasons. For example, Tommy Gustafsson won the 5 and 10K in 1988 for men. And his times were over a minute slower on the 10K, 1 minute and 18 seconds than in the 2022 Olympics on the 10K. Which was actually, Tommy Gustafsson's a Swede. And 2022 was the first time a Swede ever won again. And the reason his times are slower are several. The first reason is that the ice has just gotten better. So it, you know, it glides better and stuff. Second reason is that skates have gotten a lot better. We've got clap skates now. We got the clap skates in the late 90s, which help you a lot and make you go faster. Now, of course, if Gustafsson would skate, could also skate on the clap skate, but skating on the clap skate instead of Nore, which was what the older skates were called, translates as Norwegians, it takes some practice, so you would have to practice on them, and that can take quite a while. Some skaters took years to adapt. And then there's also better skin suits. But also very importantly, better training regimens. You know, if you assume that Tommy Gustafsson could perfectly skate on the clap skates, could perfectly, you know, have the same skin suit and, you know, would have like a year to get used to them, he would still not have been trained to the same degree as Niels van der Poel was. Because Niels van der Poel has a lot more knowledge available. He won the 2022 Olympics about nutritional stuff, about how to train well, resting well, all that kind of stuff. And Gustafsson simply didn't have that knowledge because it wasn't available. Van der Poel does have a nice first name, yeah, but he has no E in it. It's kind of the Swedish version. Which is really the only thing, from his name at least, that indicates that he's not Dutch. And he isn't. His last name is Dutch, but that's because his granddad was Dutch and then emigrated to Sweden. Imagine me being called Slin. Slin Shady. I can see that. There's kind of a very nice circular thing to Tommy Gustafsson and Nils van der Poel. As I mentioned earlier, Tommy Gustafsson was the last Swede who really won anything in speed skating. He won the 5 and 10k at the Olympics in 1988 in Calgary. Nils van der Poel also won the 5 and 10k at the Olympics in 2022 in Beijing. Nils van der Poel was also the first Swede to skate a world record since Tommy Gustafsson. But then also, when Van der Poel skated his first world record on the 10k, he beat it with the smallest margin since Tommy Gustafsson skated his world record. And Tommy Gustafsson did the commentary during Van der Poel's Olympic race, which was another, even faster world record. And Gustafsson also skated the world record at his Olympic race. What's your opinion of Sweden? Nice country. You know, nice forests. The people from Sweden have a nice accent when they speak English. I like listening to it. Some nice music. Honestly, I don't really have any specific opinion on Sweden, like Sweden good or Sweden bad. I mean, mostly positive. So, yeah. Most iconic speed skater, Stephen Bradbury. Not in my sport. I watch long track speed skating. Stephen Bradbury is a short tracker from Australia. Who won gold in the 2002 Olympics on the... I don't know which distance. Probably 1000, 1500, either of those two. But I don't watch short track. ABBA is pretty good. I listen to a few ABBA songs. I like Dancing Queen and The Winner Takes It All. Clap skates in the 90s, so I guess the champions of 98 and 2002 wouldn't have won nowadays either. Or they wouldn't even have podiumed. So, if we go with the same... actually, let's have a look at it. I'll take the Dutch Wikipedia pages, they're usually quite good. So, and then here we'll have the 2022... Now you know what, we can actually take that one here. So, 2022 season. Beijing. So, we start with the men's 500 meters. Here won Casey Fitz-Randolph, American. Skated very close to the world record. 34.42, a tenth above it, and then not such a great second run, but it was enough to win. With an average of 34.61. Now this was held in Salt Lake City. The ice rink is on 1400 meters above sea level. It's the fastest ice rink in the world. It still is, because of the immense height. The 2022 Olympic Games were held in Beijing, which is at sea level. It's still fast for sea level, but not anywhere close to Salt Lake City. Despite the clap skate already being like 5 years old at this point, and people having broken the world records from 5 years ago by massive amounts, it's still, since 2002, there's still been a massive development. Because if we go to the 500 meter men now, there's only one run now, instead of two. The third one is 34.49, which is faster than the average of the winner here. So yeah, he would not have podiumed. With his average, 0.61, he would have placed 10th. The 1000 meters. Okay, this one would have won. This is still the Olympic record. Due to the altitude. In fact, the fastest 4 were faster than the winning time in Beijing. Although, to be honest, the winning time here in Beijing was uncharacteristically slow compared to the other distances, with 107.92. And here it's 107.18. 1500 meters, he would have placed 3rd with this. 1:43.95 was a world record, with over a second officially at that point, unofficially half a second. Yet, nowadays, on a low altitude rink, 1500 meters men, 1:43.21 compared to the 1:43.95. 6:14, world record by, I think, like 6 seconds? No, 4 seconds, 6:18 it was. Nowadays, 2022, 20 years later, that would have been good for 6th place. And that's on a low altitude rink. Because if we go to a high altitude competition, then if we look at a really fast one, for example this one in 2017. Where's the 5000? Oh, that was on my birthday. The 6:14 would have been 9th here. Because this is a high altitude rink and people go so fast here. Imagine skating a world record only for someone to be 3 seconds faster. Yeah, that happened to Derek Parra. He did actually skate a world record. Of course, it was also possible for him to skate after Uitenhage, but he skated before him. So I counted in my world record progression list. I counted. Officially, it doesn't count because someone else was quicker in the same competition. Same goes for Jochem Uitenhage, although that sounds kind of complicated because there was another unofficial one before that, which was faster than Uitenhage in the 1500, but slower than Parra. Then here also, this would have been like 6th or so at the Olympics now. This would have been like 4th or 5th. Catriona Alameda after the legend. This would have been tied for 2nd, I believe. This would have been 3rd. This would have been 2nd. And the 5000, this would have also been 2nd. The level of the 3000 and 5000 at this time for the women was incredibly high. Please at some point do a 2-hour summoning salt style record progression video for speed skating. No. I really want to, but no. I've thought about doing that after I saw Running Boys videos about progression for the mile and, you know, the 10k and the marathon and stuff for running, which are really good. They're not summoning salt style, but they're still world record progressions. They're still good. But I will not do that. You know why? Because you may remember that a few months ago on stream I briefly talked about Well, maybe not that briefly, but I talked about Sven Kramer's infamous wrong lane change at the 2010 Olympics. And I showed a clip of that, of it happening. And when I uploaded that stream to my second channel as a VOD, it immediately got copyright claimed. Even though it was only like a few minutes out of an entire 3-hour, 2.5-hour live stream. And it was the official Olympics channel. So, no, I won't make a video about that because it will get copyright claimed. And I will have spent like 100 hours and make no money. And that's not worth it to me. Like, I've easily spent 1,000 hours doing work, you know, research work for speed skating statistics. That's worth it to me, even though I've made no money from it. But making the video is not worth it to me without making money. So I had to take that live stream down. I edited out the bit about speed skating, put some text there for like 10 seconds. Had to remove the speed skating bit due to copyright, sorry, and re-uploaded it. Also, there's just a lot of footage that I don't have access to. I would need to work together with the Dutch. Like, I would need to buy tapes from the Dutch movie and sound archive, which is expensive. Media archive. Yeah, I mean, it's archief beeld en geluid. It's called in Dutch. And I was looking for a good translation of the word build. But I can't really come up with a satisfactory one. Drink some water, good idea. You all should do too. The first ever Winter Olympics I called wind of was the Italian one in Turin 2006. Yeah, same. I remember being in Hellevoetsluis on vacation for the spring break and watching speed skating. I call it spring break, but it's in February. What we call spring break is in February. Yes, it's weird. Spilled this thing. A steeplechase. The Italian mixed doubles curling team. If you know, you know. I don't know. Was there a scandal? I think it's because it's pretty much around Carnival. And in the south it's the Carnavalsvakantie. Yeah, but why do we call it the spring holiday? Voorjaarsvakantie. Because it's not het voorjaar yet. It's still winter. It makes little sense. Because you Hollanders are weird. Yeah, Drenthe, Hollander, totally. Yeah, krokusvakantie. What is crocus in English? I probably know the name, but I don't know like which name belongs to it, but I've probably heard the word before. It's a flower, but I'm not sure what the name of it is. Yeah, need to be longer. You know, it's funny, because I remember... Oh, the English word's just crocus. That's simple. It's C's. I remember going on skiing holiday 4 years in a row. The first year was in 2004. And, you know, for the first 3 years we got lessons in the afternoon to learn skiing. Always the same resort south of France. And then in the morning we would skate with our parents. So the first year we got our first star, the second year we got the second star. The third year we did not get our third star because the skiing teacher was a dick. But it was good enough for our parents. And the fourth year we just didn't take lessons anymore because we didn't need to. 2004, 5, 6 and 7. I know 7 for certain that was the last year. But then recently I realized, hang on. We were in Hellevoetsluis in 2006. Because I remember watching the Olympics there. So we can't have been skiing, because we always went skiing in that holiday. So I realized that it must have been 2003, 4 and 5. Then a year nothing. Well, not nothing, but no skiing. And then in 2007 again. So I was wrong. You say Bob de Jong and Irene Wust won that edition. And also a Dutch-sounding Canadian called Cindy Klaassen. It's not really Dutch. Doesn't really sound Dutch to me. But yeah, they won. Bob de Jong won the 10k. Irene Wust won the women's, you know, the men's 10k, the women's 3k for Wust. Cindy Klaassen won the women's 1500. Svetlana Zhirova won the 500 for women. Marianne Timmer won the 1000. And it was Clara Hughes who won the 5000. For the men, it was Joey Cheek who won the 500. Then for the 1000, it was Johnny Davis. 1500 was Enrico Fabris on his home turf. And the 5000 was Chad Hedrick. Oh, and the team pursuit was Italy for men. And then for women, it was, I believe, Canada? I just said all those results because I want to show off that I know them by heart. I'll be honest about it, that's all. Alright, here we have our nice little steeplechase. Very quaint. I like using the word quaint, it sounds, well, quaint. 4.95 excitement, 4.98 intensity and 3.46 nausea. Got quite low stats, you know, it's good for kiddies. Alright, is there any ride that is... Okay, I did open that one, it's just broken down. That is too expensive. In the normal Olympics, we are an okay Olympic land. And with the Winter Olympics, we are one of the best in the world. Yes, we are. I assume with we, you mean the Netherlands. But it probably would also go for, like, Norway. Okay, that one's definitely too expensive now. So is this one. The earliest Olympic Winter Games I can actively remember is 94. Yeah, you are old. That was 2 years before I was born. Johan Olaf Kos won the 1500, the 5000 and the 10,000. I think Dan Jensen won the 1000. Who won the 500? For men. Uwe Jens Mai? No, I think he won in 88. I don't know who won the 500. For the women, I think it was probably Bonnie Blair, the 500 and the 1000. The 5000 was Claudia Pechstein. 3000 was Gunda Niemann. 1500. I wouldn't know. That's before my time. The Olympics are the only times I care about sports. Are you American? Because of course there are people from every country that are like that, but Americans are like that as a group. I care about the Olympics of course, but for speed skating specifically, because I follow it so intensively, I don't care particularly much about the Olympics. Like, I care about it a little bit more than the yearly World Championships, but not much more. And I think it's rather overrated. I think the skater's overrated. Because the Olympics is, for speed skating, basically the exact same as the World Single Distance Championships every year, except it has a different name. So in Olympic years there's no single distance championships, because it's basically the same anyway. So it's the same tournament except spread over a longer period of time, and it's got a different name. But the reason it's got so much more prestige is because if you win it, you get money from your country to help you facilitate training and stuff. But I think it's a bit overrated. Okay, so what was that question? Oh. Is this park based on an actual location or is it inspired by a theme park? I don't know. I didn't make this. I think it's probably just random stuff. It's kind of funny that other sports are much less followed in the US, as currently the best speed skater in the world is an American. And they also have Shawnee Davis, well, he's retired now for a while. He was at his time the best in the world. And then of course in the 80s they had Eric Heiden. So America has had some absolutely fantastic speed skaters. But it's not even a small sport there. It's like super duper tiny. Which is such a shame. I just checked Wikipedia. Of the men, you were right. Men's 500 meter was the newly Russian Alexander Golubev. Ah. Women's was Blair, Hunyadi, Bajanova and Clarita. No. Gunda Niemann won. Pretty sure. Hang on. Also Golubev? Really? I did. It was Bajana. Oh, Niemann won 2 years earlier. Wait, where's Gunda Niemann on the 3000? Did she fall? I think she fell. I don't remember Bajanova at all. I mean, I know the name. But yeah, Niemann won in 92. She was disqualified. I think she fell and then... Hang on, if we go to Olympedia. Look that up. Yeah, she fell. Because her split time was good after 200 meters, but then after 600 meters, it was way slower than everyone else who's in the 50s. She's 1 minute 40. So she fell and did something there that got her disqualified, but she's either last or disqualified. It doesn't matter. With a time of 5:10 compared to the actual last time of 4:47. Also, thank you for the gifted sub, Donzia. Oh, it's not finished. Whoops. Alright. Lots of stairs again in this park. We keep building more. We keep making everything less and less accessible. If you have a really good butt, a really good behind, a really fine derrière, but then suddenly you don't, you are accessible. Accessible. Carla Zelstra also skated in '94. Wasn't she the Heerenveen record holder for a very long time? Maybe? I don't think so. But we can check. Could be. I'm not that knowledgeable about that time. So, speed skating news. This site has rink record histories available. If it wants to load. There we go. Shut it. Rink record history. Women's 5000. She was a distance skater. Tialf. There's no Carla Zelstra here. Yeah, I would imagine Gunda Niemann would have most of the big track records. 3000. No Carla Zelstra either. 10,000 she might have had it. No, I think that was Van Gennep. Yeah, Van Gennep and then Kleibuiker. But the 10,000 is a rarity skated for women. That's why there's only a few names here. That's why it wasn't beaten between 1988 and 2006. It's not an official distance. So, no, Carla Zelstra didn't have it. I'll go to our Wikipedia page. Oh, we just had a crash. I think it was the side friction. At the very last bit. She did do good on the World Single Distance Championships, but never won. Only 2 silvers and 2 bronze, which is still very good, of course. But yeah, she never got the track record in Heerenveen, at least. Yeah, this thing crashed. Whoopsie daisy. I'll just put a straight line here. Just make a station. Did someone die? Yay! 12 people died. Or Wikipedia says so. Wait, does it? Hang on. Oh. Yeah, then this website is wrong. This website is sometimes wrong. Wait a minute. Yeah. It should be, if we go to Carla Zelstra. This is in Calgary. This was not... Wait, was this in Calgary or was... Yeah, this was at the Olympic Oval finale in 1997. Women's 10,000 meter. Yeah, that was not in Heerenveen. Wikipedia is wrong. That website, this website is also sometimes wrong. In that rink record history, I've spotted mistakes. Because it, you know, sometimes it has like really weird... If you go to all-time bests, then you select like... Let's see if it's got anything wrong here. No, it doesn't. If you go to some like less common distances, sometimes it'll have like a time of 10 seconds by someone who's 12 years old here, which is just miscategorized or something. Right now it's doing fine, but it'll have those miscategorized times. For example, I know if we go to the men's 300, which you can do by messing with the URL, it says that the fastest 300 meters was skated by a D2 junior, which is 17, 15, 13, 11 years. Now 12 years old. In 1 minute, 27 hundredths of a second. All these times are bullshit. The fastest actual 300 meter time is this one, at place 17. Michel Mulder, that's the actual world record on the 300 meters. So yeah, this website does stupid things, but so does Wikipedia. This was written by someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. So, rename this Tough People Died on this. Just keep a tally, change the name every time people die. You know, I could correct Wikipedia every time I see a little mistake. You know, Wikipedia has a list with like fastest track records on every distance, and sometimes they're not very up to date, especially when at some kind of local competition in Japan or something a track record gets broken. They might not know, Wikipedia might not get updated. But I don't really care, I can't be asked, because editing Wikipedia tables in Wikipedia is horrible, it's not fun at all. So I just don't bother. I just have my own tables and my own lists that are much easier to edit. And I just use those. And let's check again. Okay, dinghy slide's too expensive now. Oh, we got a stat penalty. Because our highest drop height is not high enough. That's why it was too expensive so quickly. And then a Wikipedia mod might decide they know more than you and reverse the change. Yeah. Oh, I do have my own speed skating database. I absolutely do. Like this website I was on earlier. I have every final time with every lap time on this website in a database. You know, Tetjan Bloemen, 6:01.86, and then all his lap times and split time to the hundredths of a second. And, you know, there are a lot of seasons that are on here, from 2004 to 2024. And then every one of these weekends has several distances. Well, I only have the normal distances. I don't have any team events or a mass start or anything. Those I don't have, but I do have the, you know, the distances that have a number in them. Why does it say that a man with a clear Dutch name is from Canada? He was born in the Netherlands, grew up in the Netherlands, then moved to Canada in 2014. And after he moved to Canada, he became good and started winning. Did he become good because he left the country with other good skaters? I mean, sometimes people do go to other countries because it's easier to qualify, right? Because, for example, if you skate a time that would make you the 10th best Dutch skater, then if you skate for the Netherlands, you can never go to the international matches because we can only send so many. But if you're Belgian or French, then yeah, you can absolutely go. Because you'll be the best French skater. But that's not really the case for Ted-Jan Bloem, because he did participate and he was good enough to qualify for international competitions when he skated for the Netherlands, but he never really won them. And he did not make it to the Olympics. Then he started skating for Canada, and not only, of course, was he immediately the best Canadian long distance skater, so yeah, that did make it easier for him, but also, he actually became good. Like, he started winning, he started skating world records, we won an Olympic title, world title. And that's not because the absence of other good skaters, but it was because the system in Canada is a little bit different than it's in the Netherlands, and the system in Canada is one that he does much better under. Thanks for the pricing tool, by the way. It really helps me pull the best price for rides and stalls, while I can focus on the task at hand, which is the goal of the park. Well, I didn't make it, but I did link it to you, so I'll take the credit for that. It doesn't have a name on here, but if you look it up in the price manager on the OpenRCT2 plugin directory, it'll have a name there who made it. I don't know who made it, but it's good. It's not perfect, because the park entry fee management doesn't work. I'll need to tell them that, but it's good. So many of these plugins are amazing. The one I've used most frequently recently is... oh, hang on, let's first advertise, because at this pace we're not going to get all the guests we need. I'm going to advertise 12 people died on this ride. One of my favorites is the inspect park rating. I use this so much in videos to show, because it's kind of hard without any kind of breakdown, you know, just the number and the graph. It's kind of hard to show like this has this effect on the park rating. But here you can exactly show everything. And for my most recent video about the empty airfield 1 tile, you know, seeing the happy guests go up, and then then the lost guests ruin it. That was vital. That made it so much better. Yeah, love seeing stats like that. It's incredibly amazing, these stats. Also, let's have some water. This park rating breakdown is great. It was incredibly useful for a variety of things. Not just for me to understand it better, but mostly to showcase it better, like the park rating explained video. Soft guest cap calculators, often quickly useful. It's 1160 here. Live ride measurements, you know, for example, the Virginia Reel. You follow the car, we'll have live ride measurements, which is sometimes useful when showing some stuff on screen. But I don't really use it myself very much. Guest teleporter, of course, has been recently useful, which was made specifically for me and Nusse. If we do, I will save it because I want to load. But yeah, if you select the tile, that was a noise and a half. Every guest will be teleported to there. Well, every guest that can be picked up. It has the same effect as if you paused the game, picked up every guest yourself, put them there and then unpause. So I consider that a legal thing, like no cheating, because it only saves time. It does nothing that you couldn't theoretically do yourself given infinite time. And it's already been useful in a video. 2 videos actually. This one was useful in the one with the balloons. This one was specifically made for selling balloons, like select balloon tile, select water tile, select ATM tile. ATMs will be in a future video. This is the general version, which was useful in the Amity Airfield drowning one. Yeah, it's a tool-assisted challenge run. Which other ones do I enjoy? Explode guests is useful if I want to thin out a crowd. Sometimes I want to record in a park, but there are just too many guests. And explode guests, select guests at random, so it just thins out the crowd. Which is useful. I'm gonna reload. Consistent guest stats has been useful for videos as well. If I, for example, consistently want guests to buy stuff, I'll just enable this. Well, make this 0 and then enable it, and they'll consistently be as hungry as possible. Yeah, hunger, thirst work the other way around. 0 is super hungry. Or if I need them to keep happy, instead of me needing to constantly spam this button in the cheats, I can just enable the happiness 16, which is the max. Well, 255, but that's represented as 16 here. And then they get as happy as possible. Consistently. So it's super useful for particular things. Inspect park rating or open access to statistics. Oh, I'm almost at 1,000 hours since March 24th. But a lot of that is just having the game open and doing other stuff, so it doesn't really count. Staff manager doesn't work anymore, but you know, doubling handyman, fire all staff, double all staff, quite useful if you want to just faff about and hire 20,000 entertainers. Did I miss any? No, there are not that many plugins I regularly use. Scenery Manager was useful today because I needed to have jumping, like 2,000-3,000 jumping fountains on a massive square of path, and you can just add them really quickly with the Scenery Manager. The plugin that helps you with the soft gas cap, I already mentioned that. Soft gas cap calculator. There's the dynamic dashboard, which is new. And it got improved recently after, you know, I've given a lot of feedback on this. And the averages for the park rating were completely wrong last time I showed this, but I think it's right now. I haven't checked it, but they said it's right. You can here on the bottom left see the average happiness, energy, nausea, hunger, thirst and toilet of the guests. So they're fairly hungry, but we don't have many food stalls, so that makes sense. This was also wrong at first, because he didn't realize the values were the wrong way around. Average weight of the guest is 60.59. I think it goes between like 45 and 76 or something like that. Soft guest cap it shows as well. Guest count, total admissions, guest generation. Wait, that's wrong. Is that since we loaded up the save or something? Hang on, I gotta tell him that that's wrong. Peep relocation, that's the amount of time I've picked up a guest. Staff actions, landscaping, track design actions. stall, facility placement, footpath placement, scenery placement. A lot of fun things. The green points. Oh, that's it updating when it reaches the end. Hey, we can click these. Lol. When it reaches the last one, it updates. So it updates every, what's that, like 10 seconds? Something like that. You can swap between numbers and progress bars there, by the way. For the park rating, I think numbers are more useful, but for the happiness and stuff, I think progress bars are more useful. Oh yeah, objective, days left, is very nice. Entity count. Right, average excitement intensity, nausea. Average value, average price. The value is a bit useless, you gotta look the price for them. This is the average maximum ticket price of all my rides that guests will pay. Average admission? Is that the average number of guests that have been on the rides? Let's see. 800 something? Yeah, that looks about right. Yeah, I can buy that. Average downtime. Right, average age and then average downtime. A lot of nice info here. We got 3 crashes into land. Wait, 3? I only remember 1. I didn't look back immediately. Did 3 of these trains crash or something? I think that, yeah, I mean, if the first one crashed and then more were already on the track going about, then the other ones surely would have crashed as well. Was it 3 cars? Maybe that too, I'm not sure. I haven't used that plugin too much. It's not really something I would actively use. It's just more after working on a park for a while, I might just take a look at it and see, you know, just look at some statistics. Crash another one and see how it updates. Alright, good idea. Okay. Let's crash a ride. Whee! Okay, what does it say now? 11. Okay, it was just 1 train. Count the vehicles. I think that's wrong. I mean, it's not technically wrong, but it's not as useful. It's the same with the average value, 270, which is technically true, but it's useless. Because it's not anything that we really use during gameplay. So, it doesn't help us much. It is some internal value that's used during calculations for ride ticket price and park value that the ride gives. Twist. We don't have a twist yet. The side fixtures and the bobsleigh are for me the coasters that if I have built it and make the first few laps okay, I still don't know whether it's going to crash or not. That's because it's going to behave quite differently when they have guests. And you just got to take that into account. You got to get used to that. So, it will crash if it goes more than 50 kilometers per hour over a hill. Over the top of a hill, the first car. But if you go 49, then with guests it might go 54. Yeah, then it will crash with guests, so you gotta keep a bit of a buffer. And the further into the track that you are, the bigger that buffer needs to be. Because right after a chain lift, the difference is gonna be very marginal. But if you've gone a kilometer, then the difference is gonna be much bigger. Because it's all about losing speed. The lighter the train, the faster you lose speed. So more guests, heavier train, you lose speed slower. So that the difference in speed will be larger the further you're along. You can kind of reset that. If you have a chain lift halfway, because then it defaults always back to the same chain lift speed. I had a bobsleigh coaster, it was running with guests in it until it suddenly crashed in a turn. Well, it didn't. At least not in RCT1 or 2, because rides don't crash in turns. Well, the Haunted Mansion ride does, or Ghost Train, same thing. But no roller coaster does. And neither does the dinghy slide. Maybe it got a particularly heavy load of guests. That's happened to me before. We mentioned the average guest weight earlier. Did I already build? I didn't actually build a lot of them. I was about to, but didn't. It's funny how big the myth about rides crashing in turns is. Because they've never done that. I mean, yeah, the Haunted Mansion ride has, but no bobsleigh coaster or side friction coaster or anything has ever done that in RCT1 or 2. Like in RCT3, I'm not sure. I don't know the game that well. Could be. But I'm pretty sure I've seen pages from before RCT3 came out claiming that they did that. Of course, it was just people misinterpreting things. If you have a hill right before a turn, then the train will crash, kind of, you know, go forward still a little bit more because it got forward momentum. And it'll kind of look like it crashed in the turn, which it didn't. So I kind of guess where it's going from, but it's really easy to disprove it. Just make a bobsleigh go high up. And then make it go all the way down, going like 100 kilometers an hour, and make it do a turn. Well, Waluigi, if we're using the weight as, it's about 45 to 76, something like that, right? The maximum minimum weight. If 45 is something like 50 kilos, for a teen, something like that, then, or just a short woman, then the 76 is gonna be about 85, 80. That's not obese. Maybe if you're 5 feet tall, it is. So not necessarily obese guests, just, taller guests or something. No, we need to get to the other side here. And that's the log flume. Always, always disable minimum waiting time on your water rides. They cannot crash. Well, the dinghy slide can, but the others can't. Loch Flume is my favorite Scottish lake. Oh, I like that. That's a good joke. Good play on words. Well done, Slime McHandsome. You know what? We should probably place some more footstalls in the park. Surely I'm not the first one to come up with Slime McHandsome, by the way. I did just thought of that myself, but I can't be the only one. You did so well to win this. A giant brass arse. Nice. I get that all the time. Yeah, even in the hospital, every nurse walked in and was like, ooh, handsome. Right? Totally. Car ride has broken down. Story of my life. I've never had a car break down on me. I don't have a car. Quote 85. Damn, I said that early. I mean, Slime is the reincarnation of Jesus himself, only actually handsome. Where shall we build the wild mouse? How about just on top of everything? I mean, I do drive Azuma, not very often, but if we go anywhere with the family, I often drive at least part of the way. I've driven, you know, I've driven to Norway, I've driven to Austria, I've driven to Germany and France. And, you know, driven quite a bit in the Netherlands. It's not like I never drive, but yeah, not that much. Quote 582, we're doing nothing but breeding in my house. I wonder... That was probably a Stardew Valley stream where I bred animals. Surely, right? Because in the context of Rollercoaster Tycoon, that would be weird. Like, I don't see a way to work that into a joke. Now, of course, Slime is so starved of attention that he has to pull out any positivity he gets on this stream and remember it for the rest of his life. Oh yeah, I could totally be naked right now. Would you guys still watch me if you found out that I was naked during every stream? Only wearing a condom. I'd watch you more. As long as you don't have the camera on. I mean, I don't, so... That, we have way too many cars here, by the way. Even with no minimum waiting time, there's too many. I would find the condom a bit weird and unnecessary. But yeah, I would continue to watch. Even if I made suggestive remarks about it during the stream. I mean, this is getting a bit weird now, isn't it? What's different from usual? I mean, usually I'm not making suggestive remarks about me being naked, so that would be different. Okay, we've almost reached the target, the guest target. I wonder how many... Slime, do you have a comprehensive list of all the quotes that include you? You may not do, because there might have been one or two that's been added in your absence. Maybe when I talked about your suing clauses? Who knows? Might be going through all the quotes one by one and checking when the stream is offline. I don't know. I don't know what Slang gets up to. I don't check my chat when I'm not streaming. Although sometimes after I end the stream, I don't close the program I used to stream. So I might be like an hour later and I'll be doing whatever else. And suddenly I get the notification sound that someone has followed me. Which always makes me jump, of course, because I'm not expecting it. Why are there so many quotes involving you, Slime? I'm getting worried for us. I'm not sure this is normal. $90? That's a little bit too fast. 82? 86? Come on! Yeah, that's what I like, baby. Ooh, here. Someone shout a random number. 369. That's a great quote. It's all about the ass bend. Right here. I do love me a good old ass bend. Bend my shiny metal ass. Hey, we've reached the target goal. Another random number. 606. Let's see what that is. Jesus. Those quotes don't hold back. They go quite hard. Just like me in that quote. Oh, that one about beating kids. I might have done that at Easter. In Stardew Valley, the Easter egg hunt. I think I wanted to beat kids there. Yeah, Easter really is the best time to beat kids. Planting too many of these trees. That's lame. That's a lame 666 quote. Easter is the best time to make kids. No, that's Valentine's Day. Try quote 219. I'm kind of an old man. I'm 27. I was probably 21 there. Either 20 or 21. So yeah, very much. Wait, no. What? Sorry, I was thinking of 2021. It's 2 or 3 years, so either 25 or 24. Oh, it was in 2021. I didn't even see the name. I was most likely 24 then, because I turned 25 very late in the year. Let's fast forward a bit to get to the goal time. Profit. Top spin 1 is too expensive. And this thing is just unpopular. Oh, we just got a toffee apple stall. Hells to the ass. I just realized that the Virginia reel can start with a car of 3 peeps. Are there any other ride cars that will start with an odd number? Except one of peeps. Log flume? Probably. Maybe the mine ride wooden cars thing? Like the wooden wild mine ride. That's what I'm looking for. But yeah, most of them do pairs. Topspin goes individually, I believe. Did you just call Carrie unpopular? Oh yeah, no one likes Carrie. Except all of us and everyone else. But outside of everyone, no one does. Well, most people don't like Carrie. But that's because most people don't know her. Right? Like, most people don't like me, most people don't like you. Because most of the 8 billion people on Earth don't know you, so they don't like you. They don't dislike you. They just don't know of your existence, so they can't like you. I think you find that everyone pretty much covers everything. Shut up. And look at my horse. I do have kind of problems with the word I like this. If you kind of look at the kind of terms I like this, I don't like this. What if it's just like what if there was just an activity and it was like just, yeah, sure, you know, it's not terrible, but I don't particularly like it either. You can't say I like it, but if you say I don't like it, then people will think that you dislike it. But you don't either. It's just in the middle. But there's no good term for that. I'm ambivalent about it, yeah, but no one says that. But mid is still... I think it's mid. That's still considered... an insult often, right? It shouldn't be. You see that a lot with ranking people's attractiveness, right? People will say, you know, so if you're rated a 6... that's bad. But that's technically above average. If you get 100 photos of 100 random people and you get another 100 random people to each rank all of them, give them a number, then the average you get is probably like a 7. Which is weird. And I'm not calling people stupid, because it's just the way that our mind works. It's kind of like how, you know, if we give a TV show 6 out of 10, that's theoretically the better half, but it still feels meh. Even if you include people from non-English speaking cultures, like Dutch. You probably mean like Asian cultures or African cultures, but yeah, I don't know. Of course, with TV shows it is a bit different, because you can only watch a tiny percentage of them, so you only want to watch the best. So if you can watch, you know, let's say 5 shows a week, and there are 100 shows available, yeah, then you only want to go for the very best. Because those 6 out of 10 movies will be fine if you're watching with someone else who really likes it or whatever, but if you're just on your own, then there's no use in watching a 6 out of 10 movie when you can also watch an 8 out of 10. With people's attractiveness, it's a bit different, I think. I think a lot of things have negative connotations, even though the numbers, stats, and terminology say otherwise. Yeah, it's a difficult thing. Language is, yeah, that's because language and the human mind is very subjective and inconsistent and the like. And that's probably for the better. Helps us a lot in different ways. But it can also be annoying. Okay, we've almost reached the deadline. We need 1,500 guests. We have 1,700. Yes, it still calls Skibidi Toilet Park. Hang on, did I misdrown a guest 39 minutes ago? I want to go on something more intense than 12 people died on this. Hang on. No one is thinking that. Because the intensity is high enough. No one will ever think that. So then, I'm not thirsty. On the very last day, they might survive till the deadline, but then they will die after the... Nope. Oh, just in time. Just in time, the death. Alright, very, very nice. Fast forward, because I don't like rain. And that is the very loud park. I like it. This was a fun scenario. Let's make it a bit less loud. There we go. Less pixels as well, but also less noise. Thank you very much for watching. I will see who I can find to raid. Someone called Cooper is streaming Roller Coaster Tycoon. Actually, the original one, RST1. Alright, thank you for watching. Tomorrow the video, in all likelihood. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Oh, not on Wednesday. I can't stream on Wednesday. Most likely on Tuesday, but I might just skip it altogether. No guarantees. So, let's do the raid. Send them my regards. And yeah, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.